my journey accumulating here at USC and learning how to become a champion. I like to think that I began my swimming career many years ago down in Orange County as a winner, and I finished my swimming career up here in Los Angeles at USC as a champion. And is there a difference? Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between being a winner and being a champion, but for me, the difference is vast, it's immense. I began swimming in Orange County, I think as my mother might have mentioned on that video. My mom actually would not be happy about this, but she doesn't know how to swim. And she likes to say that she put me in because I wanted to beat my brothers, but the real reason was because we had a pool in our backyard, and my father said, well, if the kids fall in and you can't swim, what are they going to do? So I learned how to swim because she can't, and swam my whole childhood in Orange County. That's what us Southern California kids do, right? Was I a great swimmer? No. Was I the swimmer that, the coaches would look at me and say, she's going to get a scholarship to USC or she's going to go to the Olympics? No. I was this little tiny skinny kid with a funny swimming stroke that kind of won a few races, but mostly spent my time outside of the pool socializing and playing games with my friends, and I'd go swim every once in a while. But all of that changed in 1984 when the Olympics came to Los Angeles, and my parents were able to somehow get 5 tickets for my brothers and I to go to opening ceremonies right across the street. And I didn't know a lot about the Olympics. I was 12 years old. The 1980 Olympics had been boycotted. I was, 4 years old during the 1976 Olympics. It didn't mean a lot to me. But when I walked into the Coliseum and I watched these athletes march out behind their country's flags, and I watched Rayford Johnson, if any of you remember the great decathlete Rayford Johnson, who so proudly ran around the track of the Coliseum and ran up those big ramps and lit the Olympic cauldron, it called me. My brothers were like, this is great. For me, there was something more. It was inside of me that I wanted to be a part of the Olympic movement. I wasn't sure how, but I wanted it was a calling for me. So I went back to practice in Orange County, and I walked up to my coach. I was 12 years old. I was about 5 feet tall. I weighed about 80 pounds. And I walked up to him and I said, I'm going to swim in the 1988 Olympics in Korea. What do I need to do to swim in the 1988 Olympics in Korea? And he laughed at me. He was 22 years old. His name was Bud. Coach Bud, Coach Bud didn't really know what to say. So Coach Bud said, well, what do you want to do when you get to high school? You're going to get to high school soon. And I said, well, I want to be popular, and I want to go to National Honor Society meetings, and I want to, date boys and do all the things you want to do when you're in high school. And he said, well, I'm not sure you're going to be able to do that if you want to go to the Olympics, because you have to make sacrifices and you have to give up instant gratification for future reward. I was 12. And I said, well, I don't understand what you mean, instant gratification, future reward. I just want to go to the Olympics, And he said, well, okay, I'm going to give you an example. The alarm clock goes off one morning at 4:15. I'm like, oh, why would the alarm clock be going off at 4:15? That's the middle of the night. And he says, well, the alarm clock is going to go off at 4:15 because we have practice at 4:45. So you're going to swim from 4:45 to 7, and then you're going to go to school all day. Instant gratification, you turn off the alarm clock, you go back to bed. Future reward, you come to practice, you swim 6 miles. You stand on the starting blocks 4 years from now at the Olympic Games in Seoul, South Korea. Can you do that? I was 12. I said, sure, that's great, because I can go to afternoon. I have all my time to be a cheerleader and hang out with my friends. And he said, no, we have practice again in the evening from 2 to 6, so you're stuck swimming another 6 miles, and by the time that's over, you're going to be so tired, you're going to want to go to bed and get up and do this all over again. We're going to do it 5 days a week. Instant gratification, you don't come to practice. Future reward, you stand on the starting blocks. Can you do it? I was 12. Of course I thought I can do it. You can do anything at 12, right? So I go home to the dinner table with my parents. I'm sitting there, and I say, well, my mom still can't swim. I'm going to go to the Olympics in swimming, and one of you has to wake up every morning at 4:15 and take me to practice.